there's no check for $250 million. So he kind of went right down the list of joking. He's kidding. You're not supposed to believe any of that to be true.
The handle number is sweet.
Conor McGregor has recently issued a strong warning to Logan Paul ahead of their potential fight, which could net him a staggering $250 million, as revealed by the Irishman himself. In December, McGregor disclosed that he had entered early-stage negotiations for a boxing exhibition match against Paul, which is expected to take place in India. The news intensified last week when McGregor reacted to an article claiming he had a $500 million deal for a fight with Paul at Mumbai's Wankhede Stadium. In his tweet, he posted an Indian flag along with a heart emoji, fueling further speculation. According to Fightbook MMA, both McGregor and Paul stand to make $250 million, each as part of India's ambitious Visit India tourism initiative, which will be tied to this monumental showdown. McGregor himself recently seemed to confirm this lucrative figure when he tweeted, $250 million I'm coming, alongside a picture of Paul dressed in WWE gear and an Indian flag. This upcoming fight marks a significant moment in McGregor's career, as he has not fought in mixed martial arts since he fractured his leg during a brutal encounter with Dustin Poirier at UFC 264 in July 2021. McGregor, who is now 36 years old, was initially scheduled to face Michael Chandler at UFC 303 in June 2024 in what would have been a highly anticipated return to the octagon. However, that fight was called off after McGregor sustained a toe injury during a sparring session, and efforts to set a new date fell apart. Additionally, McGregor's legal troubles have complicated his comeback. In November, a High Court civil ruling in Dublin found him liable for misconduct, and Nikita Hand emerged victorious in a legal battle with the former UFC 2 division champion. As a result, McGregor was ordered to pay compensation of €248,600, $3 million. These events have clouded McGregor's return to MMA, but his boxing prospects seem to be taking center stage for now. For McGregor, the proposed fight with Logan Paul could potentially eclipse even his most lucrative past combat sports deal. In 2017, McGregor made his boxing debut against undefeated legend Floyd Mayweather in one of the most high-profile matchups in combat sports history. Despite losing to Mayweather, McGregor pocketed a reported $130 million, with Mayweather taking home a substantial $280 million of the $410 million total purse. At the time, the event set a new record for the highest ever purse in combat sports. However, McGregor's fight with Paul could potentially break that record if the numbers hold true, with both fighters set to pocket $250 million each. Logan Paul's boxing career, on the other hand, has not been as eventful as that of his brother Jake Paul, who faced Mike Tyson before 72,300 spectators in Texas. Jake Paul also gained worldwide attention with his Netflix special that reached 60 million viewers. Logan Paul, in contrast, has faced a series of exhibition matches, including a bout with Floyd Mayweather in June 2021. Despite not having an official victor, Logan made waves in the boxing world. He also faced TSI in two intense bouts in 2018 and 2019, which helped usher in the era of YouTube boxing. Logan Paul's professional boxing career has been more limited, and his sole professional loss came in a split decision against TSI in 2019 after a 2-point deduction for hitting his opponent while he was on the ground. However, his upcoming fight with McGregor promises to be an even bigger spectacle, one that could capture the world's attention in ways never seen before. Behind the scenes, negotiations for this highly anticipated showdown are reportedly already underway. Sources close to the industry have confirmed that talks are ongoing for a boxing match between Conor McGregor and Logan Paul, with the event tentatively scheduled for April 2025.
80% likely to happen. Now, Ben, there's a couple things that interest me. April and the UFC.
Yeah, I think the big conversation here was that Dana White and the brass would have to be involved for this to occur, much like they were with the Floyd Mayweather fight, which is kind of funny because Dana has stated several times, I believe, that he would never do this again. This co-promotion, this boxing, endeavor just was not worth it to him. But it seems like, yeah, they might be locked and loaded to do it again. And April 2025, that's a lot sooner than I think most people would have guessed. But, again, the rights are up for the UFC. We don't know where they're going to be headed.
The UFC is playing an integral role in facilitating the negotiations, which adds a layer of complexity and intrigue to the entire situation. While McGregor has not officially returned to the octagon since his leg injury, the UFC is eager to see this spectacle unfold, especially considering the magnitude of the proposed fight. McGregor had previously been linked to a fight with Michael Chandler, which was expected to headline UFC 303 in 2024. However, McGregor withdrew from that fight after injuring his toe during training. Now, eyes are turning toward the potential fight against Paul, with McGregor teasing the possibility on social media. As the timeline for McGregor's return to MMA continues to remain unclear, a showdown with Logan Paul could be just what the fans and the industry need to reinvigorate McGregor's career and make waves in both combat sports and entertainment. The Misfits News podcast recently delved into the matter, with hosts Ben Davis and Beal discussing the status of the negotiations. Beal, referencing a trusted insider, revealed that the fight was being seriously discussed for an April 2025 date, with both fighters expressing keen interest. He added that the UFC was deeply involved in the talks and was eager to see the event come to fruition. According to Beal, things are progressing well, and the negotiations are moving in the right direction. If all goes according to plan, McGregor versus Paul could set a new standard for crossover combat sports events, combining the worlds of UFC, boxing, and entertainment in a spectacle unlike anything seen before. Fans are eagerly awaiting the official confirmation, though many remain skeptical about the UFC's position in all of this. Still, with both McGregor and Paul seemingly on board and the UFC actively engaged in discussions, it looks as though this fight could be the next big thing in combat sports, potentially breaking records and captivating audiences around the world.
Conor McGregor is due to fight Logan Paul, not to be confused with Jake Paul, in India for $250 million each. $250 million is more than Tyson and Usyk combined. Not even close.
Logan Paul's fighting Conor McGregor, but we're getting scammed since originally this fight was supposed to be Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor. I don't know who got more scammed, the people that bought Crypto Zoo or Jake Paul. At least we know this fight will be a harder watch than Joe Biden going up the stairs. Regardless, I will still be watching this fight. Make sure to subscribe.
What I really want is Conor.
The
I'll put
ideal
the nail
order-
in his casket.
Ideally, if you could have it your way, is it Nate, Tommy, Conor? Is KSI anywhere in that equation
Well, if
anymore?
KSI fights Tommy, he's going to get knocked out.
Yep.
I guess it's all kind of in the air. Time will tell.
When considering who would host the event, the UFC, whose focus is primarily on MMA, seems an unlikely candidate to promote a boxing match. Likewise, the WWE, with its focus on professional wrestling, would find it out of character to organize a one-time boxing event. This leaves Misfits Boxing as the most plausible option, given its ties to both Logan Paul and the UFC. Misfits has a history of endorsing Paul and TSI's Prime brand, making it an ideal platform for such a crossover event. In addition, Misfits has a strong relationship with the UFC, which could allow McGregor to face Paul with minimal conflict. The UFC's involvement in the fight could help boost McGregor's global appeal and expand his fan base, while also benefiting the UFC itself. This mirrors White's earlier decision to allow McGregor to face Floyd Mayweather in a boxing ring in 2017, despite McGregor being under UFC contract. By sanctioning the McGregor-Paul fight under Misfits Boxing, the UFC could continue to capitalize on McGregor's global popularity, while minimizing the potential risk to its own brand. Despite all the speculation, Chael Sonnen remains unconvinced. He took aim at McGregor's assertions about the exhibition match with Paul, calling the entire situation a falsehood. Sonnen pointed out that events like this are typically organized by government entities rather than wealthy individuals, and he argued that there's no demand in India for a boxing match solely to boost tourism. Sonnen also reminded his audience that McGregor is still bound by his UFC contract, which makes it unlikely that he could fight Paul without the promotion's approval. He further dismissed the reported $250 million payout from McGregor, saying there's no check for $250 million. His skepticism about the event being financially viable only deepens, and he continued to downplay the seriousness of the situation. As of now, no official announcements have been made regarding the fight, and the notion of Misfits Boxing hosting the event remains purely speculative. Whether this fight will happen or not is still uncertain. Fans and industry insiders will continue to wait for formal news, but for now, the potential McGregor versus Paul fight remains shrouded in uncertainty and doubt. Could it happen? Only time will tell.
Conor McGregor came out and said that he had agreed to fight Logan Paul. What is the latest there? What is going on?
From what I understand, there was conversations about it a while ago. I don't know if Conor just woke up in like Ibiza or something like that and decided that he wanted to talk about it today. From the last thing I heard, there was no updates there, so I don't know if he's just out of his mind and just talking about it. But Logan just had a kid. He's locked in. He's a girl dad. And so, you know, unless there's something that I haven't heard, which is very possible, I don't know what the hell Conor's talking about. But I'll say this. No matter what, I think the boxing world loved to see it. I think we're talking about two very controversial personalities. One loved and hated, two countries, two different fighting disciplines. The world watches that fight. That's another Tyson, Jake Paul. I don't care what you say, people watch that fight. So I want to see it happen, for sure.
10 seconds.
The story gained significant traction when McGregor himself, along with the McLife, a media outlet founded by respected journalist Oscar Willis, known for his close ties to McGregor, amplified the news online. However, McGregor later denied the rumors of a fight with Tapia, stating that they were false. He clarified that he is in preliminary talks with the Ambani family for a boxing exhibition against Logan Paul in India. McGregor confirmed he had agreed to the bout and would later focus on his return to the UFC. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.